Why is the state afraid? Or avoiding, really not afraid? Why is the state avoiding to call Mr. Longwe, my lord? Longwe Twala. Why is the state afraid? I have tried to come up with speculation and answers to which ingenuity may suggest. I can only think, my lord, and I'll be forgiven for thinking that the state is afraid that Mr. Longwe comes here. He says, no, I never got injured on that day. But beyond that, let me tell you how this incident happened. Actually, the firearm that was used on that day was not a 9mm, it was a revolver. That's just a speculation.
This can't listen to speculation.
Yes, thank you, my lord. But the gist of the question is, why is the state avoiding to call Longwe?
Hey, Chada, we are back with another video. The page, it is South African Late News. Yeah, Gadla Mncube is still on the stand and is still deliberating on what happened and what did not happen, because we know that the case is cooked. But by the end of the week, the other defense attorneys had a chance to cross-examine Gadla Mncube on what was his version of events. But I was really impressed with the fact that Gadla really understood the evidence that was delivered by each witness, because now he is hammering and showing the court of all the contradictions. But the most important one that I liked was when he talked about Makhubo. But I'm disappointed that he stopped him from explaining further. But listen to Gadla Mncube explaining ukuthi Makhubo ne-evidence yakhe yini ayikhombise enkantolo. Lalela.
Kusenkantolo kunento bese ikhumbule ukuthi la ecourt kuke kwafika iphoyisa abathi Makhubo.
I would also like us, my lord, to also recall that here in court there was another police official that came, Makhubo.
Yes.
Elachaza la ecourt ukuthi ukukhuluma kwabo base bekuhlanganisile uGininda wabajikela.
Who came before the court and gave an explanation that they already formed their evidence or their talk, but Gininda
wabajikela.
But Gininda turned against them.
Wasehamba nethimba lakhe lelomkhulu.
Then Gininda now went with his other team, Mkhulu and them,
ukuthi kuze kube namadokethi amabili.
So that they can have be about two dockets.
Thank you, Mr. Mncube. Look, we hear not on the strength of two dockets. This trial is about just the strength of the allegation, or is on the basis of the allegation that yourself and your co-accused were involved in the killing of the deceased in this case.
Mnumzane Mncube ke namhlanje ke sikho lana ke malana ke namadokhethi amabili noma kanjani, kodwa sila namhlanje ke ngale maqala ke lawa anthweso wona ke sikhuluma ngawo ke labanye ke la uboshwe nako.
But then Brigadier Gininda, very late in the course of the trial, adds a new dimension that it's Ms. Kelly Khumalo who actually came out to this, who hashed this idea that Senzo should be killed, and then as a result thereof, she then approached accused number 5, who in turn approached the whole of you.
Indeed, Gadla Mncube is spot on there. Remember that Joyce Buthelezi and Ward of Makhubo were the investigators that were involved initially in the case. And Makhubo, in initial fact, he went to the crime scene and did crime scene reconstruction and discovered that the people in the house lied about what transpired on the night when Senzo was shot. Then Makhubo and Joyce Buthelezi decided to open docket 75 because they had disagreement with the likes of Brigadier Gininda with the way the case was being conducted. Makhubo and Joyce Buthelezi were of the view that all those that were in the house should be charged for defeating the ends of justice because they lied about everything that happened on that day. Remember that Kelly Khumalo, I think her name is Gladys Khumalo, she even pointed out at the wrong person as being the one who was the intruder. they pointed out at Zame Uhlembata, who was then arrested for about few days, but then he was later released because the court said there was insufficient evidence, and then he also had a good alibi to prove that he was not there. So that was one of the reasons why Umakuba said the individuals in the house lied about everything, because they knew Uzama Uhlembata, okay, he's the guy that washes imoto kaKelly Khumalo and Senzo whenever they were around for Sloras, but now they mistaken him for a shooter. So to Umakuba, that was clearly an indication that they are lying. Secondly, when Makuba did the crime scene reconstruction, he discovered that the way they described the event was a total fabrication and a lie, because he could see that the angle in which the shot was fired, it's not the same way that was described by those that were in the house. So I think one of the defense lawyers must call Umakuba to come and account, especially why did they open docket 25, and then they would explain other contradictions that were exposed during the course of the investigation. They can tell us, okay, what lies were told by Uzandi, Ukeli, Ulongwe, and Tumela Madlala, and so on, because Umakuba and Joseph Teles did all the investigation initially and interviewed all those witnesses, which Ukininda did not do. Remember that Ukininda, he said in court he did not take a statement from Ulongotwala, which is very shocking because he's now relying on the old statement. If he did take another statement from Longotwala, then maybe Ulong was going to say something else which contradicts some part of his evidence that was delivered. But asikho ke lapho. Then uKadla Mncube spoke about other aspects of the case, and I would like you to listen to Kadla Mncube and hear ukuthi lo muntu lo, he understands the evidence before court because he was listening during the trial.
Where they put the ammunition and the case, the ammunition case, when it corresponds or it's the same, now it kicks it out.
So Dlamini bafaka lesi sicelo sokuthi bayicheckele lama case.
So Dlamini and them now put this request that these cases should be checked for them.
Obvious ukuthi mawukhona yonke lento lena lapha eballistic kumele kutholakale ukuthi le case iphuma ukuthi lesi spam yiso esibulale uSenzomeni.
Obviously, if the case is there or the information is at the ballistic, now it will show if this particular firearm is the one that killed Senzomeyiwa.
Vele noLishabane ushilo la court uthi wawukhipha umthetho 2015 ukuthi sonke isibhamu sitholakala eGauteng asicheckwe icase kaSenzomeyiwa.
And Lishabane also mentioned to the court that he gave a directive that in 2015 that every firearm that is found in Gauteng should be analyzed for Senzomeyiwa's case.
General Shabane obela box.
I'm referring to General Shabane that was also in the box.
Yes.
So Dlamini azange beze kimi bezothi siyakucharge ndoda ngecase kaSenzomeyiwa.
Dlamini and them, my lord, never came to me or did not come to me and say to me that they are charging me for the Senzomeyiwa case.
Njengokusho babekuqaleni ubaba bethe isibhamu yise sizokhuluma nefoni yami.
As they had indicated before, that the firearm and my phone will clear up everything
Ngecase kaSenzomeyiwa.
concerning the Senzomeyiwa.
Ngoba bengibuzela ukuthi khona nengikwazi ngecase kaSenzomeyiwa. Ukuthi ngazi ngecase kaSenzomeyiwa.
Because they had already asked me what I know about the Senzomeyiwa's case.
Ngathi angazi lutho base bethi isibhamu sakho nefoni yakhe kuzokhuluma.
And then I told them that I don't know anything about the Senzomeyiwa case, and then they said my phone and the firearm would clarify.
Now, there was a very important point made by Gadla regarding the gun that allegedly shot Senzomeyiwa. Remember that in February 2015, I think it was on the 9th, he was arrested by Umasondo and Udlamini. When they arrested him, they found a gun. And that gun was taken for ballistic testing. And it was compared to the projectile that shot Senzomeyiwa. And it was discovered that it's not a match. It was done by who? Umasondo and Dlamini. And that clearly exonerated Gadla Mncube as being the shooter of Senzomeyiwa. However, once ukufika Brigadier Geninda kuqeqe yonke into yashintsha. Now we are being told that the gun is a match. Remember, Mangena went to Cleveland police station to collect that gun, and Mangena admitted that he found the gun on an open bag, meaning that it was laying on the floor, not being secured as an exhibit. That means that the barrel of a gun could have been changed, which is why the gun is now matching. The gun is matching also because the barrel of a gun could have been changed just to implicate uKhadla Mncube, because they already knew about Khadla Mncube's cases. Remember, Mncube was charged for that Alexander case where he allegedly shot and unalived the taxi boss. I think his name is Reggie Mohlala. So they had already had a Khadla Mncube's gun, so they wanted to link him in any way that they could, which is why the gun was found on the floor when Mangena collected it. It was because the barrel of a gun was possibly changed just to implicate Khadla Mncube. But initially, when the gun was settled by Obo Dlamini and Umasondo, the gun was not a match. So clearly, there was a fabrication there that the court needs to consider when making judgment. But clearly, the gun as an exhibit was not secured. Remember that. Now, I'd like you to listen to Khadla Mncube talk about the gun that was seen by those that were in the house. Remember that Tumelo Madlala said he saw a gun with a wheel, meaning it's a revolver, not the same gun that Mangena is talking about, which is 9mm. So listen to Khadla Mncube explaining that anyone can identify a gun with a wheel or without a wheel, because that does not require a witness, just requires your eyes to observe and see how does a gun look. And then you can make a conclusion. Listen to Khadla Mncube.
Simon, I saw it as a firearm that had a wheel on it somewhere there in that area of the trigger guard as well.
Ake ngicaphune ngifunde vele ngiqondise ngqo futhi ngiyibone kwangathi ke isibhamu shangathi isibhamu esithanda kuba nesondo kanti futhi ndawana thize si ne trigger guard.
Do you want to comment, Mr. Mncube, in the context that says the pistol that killed Senzo Meyiwa, the CZ-75, Czech Republic 75, Parabellum 9mm. You are the CZ Czech Republic 75, 9mm Parabellum.
Ungathanda ukuphawula na wemnumzane Mncube ngalokho uma echaza ukuthi ke isibhamu esabulala uSenzo Meyiwa kwakusibhamu sohlobo lwe-CZ
and that you were
Czech Republic 75 in 9mm Parabellum.
And that you were the possessor and you are the shooter using that pistol.
Kuthiwa sasiphethwe wena futhi wena umdubuli owasebenzisa.
Do you want to comment now in relation to what Mr. Madlala says he saw the first suspect holding as a firearm in that house of the Kumalos on the 26th of October 2014?
Ungathanda ukuphawula yini ngaloko ke akusho lo fakazi amshoyo ukuthi ke athi uMadlala wambona lo msolo oqala ekuphethe ngalolo suku kwakhuma.
uTumelo Madlala ukhuluma ngesibhamu asibone sasendlini esinesonto.
Tumelo Madlala is talking about a firearm that he saw in the house which had a wheel.
Yena okungelula ukuthi ungaphikisa umuntu owayekhona lapho.
Such testimony, which is not easy for you to dispute from a person who was present there.
Yabo nje mina bangihamba namaphoyisa. Mawungathi amaphoyisa bephethe ibhamu ezinesondo yokuthi unamanga oba ngiyibona azinasondo lezi ibhamu abayiphethe amaphoyisa.
For example, as for me, when I was in the company of the police, if you would come and say those police were carrying firearms with a wheel, I will dispute that and say you are lying, because I saw that those firearms did not have any wheel.
Bese ngikutshela ngithi bezingenasondo.
Then I would say to you, those firearms did not have a wheel.
So noTumelo umuntu owabona ngamehlo wakhe ukuthi isibhamu esingelela endlini sinesondo.
And as for Tumelo, he is the person who witnessed that with his own eyes that the firearm that was brought into the house was a firearm with a wheel.
Njengoba singabase South Africa nje. Ngisho ingane entombazane ena 15 years yokutshela isibhamu sinesondo lezi asinalo isondo.
As South Africans, all of us here, even a 15-year-old girl will be able to see that this firearm and describe, this firearm has a wheel, this one does not have a wheel.
Angeke ithi isibhamu esingenasondo sinesondo.
She won't say that a firearm had a wheel whilst it doesn't.
So labantu basendlini bakhuluma ngento abayibona ngamehlo wabo.
Thus, the people who were present in the house are narrating or are telling about something that they witnessed with them.
Indeed, Gadla Ncube is spot on there. The people in the house saw a gun with a wheel, and Gininda Mangena cannot dispute that because they were not in the house. And it's not one person, it's more than two people that are saying that the gun that shot Senzome had a wheel. So the state has got a mountain to climb here because that statement and evidence before court, and it cannot be disputed because those individuals were in the house. They're speaking from what they observed on the day that Senzo was shot. But lawyer said you must believe his witnesses. So I found it to believe when it suits him. You must believe his witnesses at all times. So if Tumela Madala saw a gun with a wheel, then I believe him because witness Kabaloile. So the gun that shot Senzo had a wheel. So it's not the same gun that is before court that was brought by uMangena and Ubaloyi. So the state there have got a very huge mountain to climb because now that is a contradiction. It is a huge contradiction. You must remember that the accused are charged in common purpose, which means that if one part of the evidence exonerates one accused, then all other four accused then should be exonerated because it means they were not there. So the gun evidence, I think it is very crucial now, which is taken into account by the court. The fact that the witness observed a gun with a wheel, which is a revolver, shows that Mangena had the wrong gun. So if Mangena had the wrong gun, it means it's not Gadla Ncube that shot Senzo. It means Gadla was not there. If Gadla was not there, then the four other accused were not there as well. Remember also that Gadla Ncube also had a cell phone on the day. And on the day, his cell phone pinged in Johannesburg CBD at the same time when Senzo was shot, meaning that Gadla was not at the crime scene. So Gadla Ncube's case is supported by evidence that cannot be disputed. Firstly, people in the house saying it's a revolver. Mangena saying it's an 9mm. But people in the house were there. You cannot dispute that because it's what they saw with their own eyes. And then the telephone records, Gadla Ncube saying that at the time when Senzo was shot, he was at Johannesburg CBD, not in Foslo. That clearly exonerates Gadla Ncube as being the shooter of Senzome. If that is the case, then all four other accused are innocent because we're told that they travel using one car. So if Gadla Ncube is in Johannesburg CBD and they were supposedly using the same car, it means then they're all not in Foslo because Gadla cannot be in Foslo and be the shooter and also be together with the accused when Senzo was shot because clearly he was not there. So one aspect of Baloyi's case is crumbling here. The shooter is exonerated, meaning that among Aldabeshoyo, Gadla is not the shooter. So Untanzi was not there with Gadla as being the intruder. We were told by Gininda that Untanzi and Gadla were the two intruders in the house. But if now telephone records shows that Gadla was in town, so Untanzi why get called up because we were told that two intruders were together. So Gadla is exonerated. And remember, Untanzi telephone records like on the day they do not put him in Foslo. On the day when Senzo was shot, our telephone records Untanzi also do not ping in Foslo, meaning that Untanzi was not there. So both Untanzi and Gadla were not intruders. So now the last aspect that I want to address is the issue of the missing exhibit. Remember that what Nxumalo said, in order for him to be able to cross-examine Gadla Ncube, he needs that hat. The hat that was allegedly being worn by one of the intruders that entered the house. Remember, we were told that two intruders entered the house. One was short, one was taller, but the shorter one had a gun and had a hat. But Mr. Mosetla, who's the DNA expert, came to court and told us that the DNA that was found in the hat belonged to a woman. But now we were told by Baloyi now that hat is missing. It cannot be found. Where is it? Where is that hat? Why did it disappear? Clearly the state now is hiding it because now they see that the hat does not suit their narrative, but it's too late because now the DNA has already spoken that the DNA on the head belonged to a woman, which means it was not Gadla, because Gadla is a man. But still, we need that head because that head is an exhibit of the court. So listen to what Nxumalo tell the court ukuthi ufuna isiqoka yena noma kanjani.
Of the witness, there are two aspects that I wish to address the court, which I feel they are going to hinder the progress, that is the questioning of the witness before court.
Yes.
The first one is the issue of the head. You remember?
Head.
Yes, the head. You remember, my lord?
Yeah.
I've raised this issue this week. The report that I'm getting, I hope that my colleague is going to attest to this, is that there is an intensive search and all concerted efforts are being made to search the head in question. If my colleague can put it in the proper context, because they are the ones who are the custodians of the exhibits. Thank you.
Yes.
When initial search was launched, almost at the beginning of the case, they couldn't find the head. But we've since requested that another search be launched, which is currently ongoing, to try and establish as to who collected the head from the biology unit, and to try and obtain the affidavit of that person, and in that way to determine as to eventually what happened to the head. And we informed my colleague, Advocate Nxumalo, that as soon as we have received a final word regarding the search that has been launched, we'll communicate that to him. But at the moment, as you mentioned, my lord, the search is still ongoing.
Umnumzane Nxumalo ke
And
uye wathi-
we hope maybe to get the final word perhaps later today or at the...
The state has a tendency of losing things if they favor defense. Remember about those pocketbooks where the OBA entries were supposed to be written and those diaries that were missing, that were supposed to be carried by the police officers, but now the state can't find them. The same as the AVL records of some of those vehicles that were driven when Tanzi and Sibia were driven around by the police during torture. They can't be found. The state has a tendency of not finding evidence that is crucial when it comes to defense. It's clearly that the state are lying. The state is not being honest here. We need those OBE entries. We need those diaries to show ukuthi yini abayibhala phansi amaphoyisa ngesikhathi ehamba noSibiya noNtanzi. But they'll never be found because it does not suit the state narrative. So the same thing is happening about this head. This head will not be found because the head supports Gadla Mngcubo's version ukuthi he was not in the house. The DNA on the head belonged to a woman. That is why now the head is missing. But so we're late because the DNA experts came to court and said DNA found on that head exclude Gadla Mngcubo as being the donor of the DNA found in the head. So okay, Gininda Baloyi, you can hide the head forever because the DNA has already spoken. Captain Masetla has spoken. So now I don't think that the head, if it is found or not found, it's irrelevant because the DNA has spoken. Gadla was not wearing the head. So Gadla is not the same man or the same woman that entered the house because people in the house said he dropped that head when he ran out. But the DNA tested proves that it's not Gadla. So ukuthi Balo uyasithola akasithola isiqhoko, it's irrelevant.